Cruise news time. And what's the old adage? It pays to be loyal. Well, what happens when you've been loyal to a cruise line forever? You're at one of the highest statuses of loyalty, and well, loyalty isn't paying anymore. We have some cruise passengers working their emotions out on that right now. Also, Royal Caribbean cruise ship set to go out tomorrow from Baltimore. Whole cruise just got canceled. We also have a brand new cruise ship scoring a perfect score on their sanitation report, and there is a cruise port out there getting another cruise ship. More love going to, well, you know where. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. Friday, the 22nd of September. And since I talked to you last, I had a whole day in Boston yesterday, and I've had basically a whole day in Portland, Maine today. Again, I'm struggling. I don't want to be too predictive, but this has been one of my favorite cruises ever. These cruise ports have been so interesting. Went to the Boston Tea Party Museum in Boston yesterday, plus rode a hop-on, hop-off bus all the way around the city. And today I became a lobsterman, or at least I saw the task that lobstermen and lobsterwomen complete. And it pretty amazing. Again, I've got to work on these other videos to show you this stuff, but I want to keep up to date with the cruise news. The short takeaway is that this has been a pretty fantastic cruise. Second thing I want to talk about before we get into today's story, quick update on yesterday's story. I told you about the couple that showed up at their cruise to Hawaii. They live in Arizona. They went to California, cruising to Hawaii. They showed up with an old passport, and because they did not have up-to-date documentation, they were denied boarding. A lot of people said, why do you need a passport to cruise to Hawaii? I think one thing that I probably take for granted is just this understanding that when you cruise from the U.S., you're going to go to a foreign country. So my assumption, without seeing the itinerary, is that part of their itinerary to Hawaii would include a foreign cruise stop, which would be Mexico, most of the cases off of the West Coast. But either way, you're going to have proper documentation. If they weren't cruising with a passport, then they could have probably cruised with the birth certificate. But yeah, they needed a passport because there's a foreign stop baked into every cruise that leaves the United States, except the cruise around Hawaii that the NCL Pride of America does. That's the only cruise ship that I know of that has that exception, major big cruise ship that I know of that has that exception to the Passenger Vessel Services Act. All other cruises leaving the U.S. have to have a stop at a foreign destination in addition to any ports of call in the United States. So hopefully that clears that up. All right, let's start off by talking about America's darling cruise port right now, Galveston, Texas. Carnival Cruise Line has announced that they are deploying yet another cruise ship to Galveston starting in 2025. Carnival is deploying the Carnival Legend to Galveston. Carnival Legend will join the Carnival Breeze, the Carnival Dream, the Carnival Jubilee to do cruises out of Galveston to the Western Caribbean. The Legend will also be doing a few cruises to the Panama Canal. But this continues to show the cruise industry, Carnival in particular's commitment to Galveston. New megaship for Carnival Jubilee will be home ported there when it's finished. Yeah, another big thumbs up for Galveston, Texas, getting another Carnival cruise ship. Texas cruisers, people that can get to Galveston, more cruise options. How about that? Cruise news story number 2, Royal Caribbean International informed guests late in the evening of September the 21st that their September the 23rd cruise on Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas, a cruise out of Baltimore to Bermuda, a 5-dayer, has been canceled because of an impending tropical storm making its way into the area. This one's interesting because we've seen a lot of cruises disrupted, rerouted, new itineraries. Well, this one, not at all. There's just a straight up cancellation of the cruise. They're not even going to attempt it. Yep, still in hurricane season, still in storm season, and not too surprising to hear the story other than the cancellation. Were you on the Vision of the Seas? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 3, the CDC. Do you remember those guys? The CDC, they have a whole program called the Vessel Sanitation Program. They send unexpected inspectors onto cruise ships, and they inspect cruise ships, and then they give them a numerical score, with 100 being the highest score that you can get, the perfect score. And well, one of the newest cruise ships in the world, the Oceana Vista, just scored 100 on their sanitation report. The Vista entered service earlier this year in May. While the Vista was docked in Boston, CDC sent inspectors on, and she was inspected. Now, fortunately for the Oceana Vista, she was just inspected. It's not like she was injected, inspected, detected, infected, neglected, and selected. Just inspected. I bring it up just to remind everybody out there that cruise ships are being looked at from a sanitation perspective, and that certainly there are cruise ships out there doing it right. A big kudos to Oceana for keeping their new ship in ship shape. Ship tip-top, ship. It's 100%. Way to go. Now, I got to tell you about some shocking news that loyal Carnival cruisers got regarding loyalty and an upcoming cruise. But before I do that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Well, here you go. There is a cruise coming up, a transatlantic journey cruise on the Carnival Freedom, going from Florida to Barcelona in Spain. And well, guests have been notified, Diamond and Platinum guests have been notified that some of their loyalty benefits will not be honored. Loyalty perks like priority embarkation, priority disembarkation, guaranteed priority seating at the main dining room every night. All of those staple loyalty perks are going away on this sailing because there's too many loyal people on that sailing. This is an interesting situation. The cruise lines hook a lot of people in with their loyalty program, but what if they hook too many people in? Then it becomes a problem, and that's what these folks were notified of about a week before their sailing, that if they thought they would go there and use some of their Diamond and Platinum benefits, which are expensive and challenging benefits to get, if you thought you were going to use those, well, au contraire, you will not be using those because there's a whole bunch of other people that want to use those too. I guess sometimes it doesn't pay to be loyal. Fortunately, it's only on this cruise, and it's happened on other cruises where you have too many loyal people sailing. But yeah, that's the thing. That's a great way to close out with a question. Do you believe in cruise brand loyalty? Are you loyal to a certain cruise line? If so, which one? What's your level? If you want to share it, are you platinum? You're going platinum, selling rhymes. I'm platinum with Princess, and I'm platinum with Carnival, and I think I'm platinum everywhere. It's but yeah, who are you most loyal to? And do you think that loyalty does pay, or do you think it's a gimmick? Could it be a gimmick just to get you to spend your money? Interesting question. Leave a comment below. Thanks again. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news. Cruise news. Cruise